Shalom, shalom, brother Abaya. First, we give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the Son, who people unknowingly call him Jesus Christ. Lord willing, you enduring, you praying, you fasting, you giving alms, you doing everything you need to do to make your calling and election sure in these last days. I want to give peace and blessings to whomsoever is watching this. I also want to give peace and blessings to whomsoever is not watching this, yet they believe in the Most High God. They believe in his son Yahushua, and they're keeping the commandments in truth and sincerity. Now, today's topic is going to be how to fast. Last time we did a video on how to, how to stop smoking. Now, this one's going to be how to fast. Because it's important that we go over, and expedient that we go over this milk, and things of that nature. Because you might be new. You might not know something about fasting, and you can build up on that, and things of that nature. We're going to go over the basics. We're going to lay the foundation. And hopefully, let me get precept that you may grow thereby. Let me get this real quick first, though. In 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, "As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." So it's important to get the milk that ye may grow thereby. There's nothing wrong with going over meat. Lord willing, when brothers get more build it up in this thing, start going more into the meat and things of that nature. But right now, our main focus is teaching the sheep that's new, that's coming into this truth right now, and things of that nature. All right, so let's get the first precept. We're gonna go over what is fasting and why do we fast. Now, for the definition I have written down, I put fasting is afflicting the flesh by not eating or drinking or tasting anything for a dispensation of time to either receive something from the Most High, have your prayers answered, or because you're mourning. And there's other reasons, but that's a definition I had written down myself. So there's different reasons why people fast. You might want your prayers to be answered. You might be mourning because you had a death in the family. You might be mourning because, someone fell out the truth that you really had love for, man. Or you might have a vision, and guess what? You want to see the breakdown. Like Daniel, he wanted to receive the breakdown of vision. You start fasting. So there's different reasons why you fast in this thing. Now, how to fast? Let's get Jonah real quick. Let's get the classic. Let's go to Jonah chapter 3 and verse 7. Now, when people say I'm fasting and things of that nature, you ask them, what's your diet, or, what's going on? They still drinking smoothies. They say I'm on a diet. I'm fasting. That's not real fasting. Real fasting is not tasting, eating, drinking, not brushing your teeth. That's real fasting, man. These fasts that they do in the world, they abstain from meats probably. They might abstain from drinking. That's not a real fast. A real fast, according to the Bible, a standard fast is not eating or tasting anything, man. Right? We're going to get that. This is the book of Jonah, chapter 3 and verse 7. And it reads, "And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water." You see that? It said let them not taste anything. So no brushing your teeth when you fasting. No, when you get you might start feeling lightheaded, so-called, and then you want a glass of water, right? All of a sudden you got you're watching TV probably, then a commercial pop up. It got your favorite fast food or your favorite restaurant, got a juicy behind steak. Now all of a sudden, guess what? You're hungry. You go to the fridge, or you might go out your way, go all the way down the street to Longhorns, and guess what? Now you got a juicy steak that was on the commercial. That's not real fasting. Real fasting is afflicting your flesh by not eating or tasting anything, man. No brushing your teeth, no drinking. Let's get another precept on that too. Right? Why? Because you want to afflict your soul to be more in the spirit. That's why when brothers fast for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, they're more serious, because they're more in the spirit, man. Because they're not giving the flesh that lust that they want, that desire. They're more in the spirit. They might be more austere, more stern in the spirit. Because, it make you more serious in this thing, make you more in spirit. That's the reason why people fast too, to let's call it upgrade, for lack of better terms, uplift or upgrade their spirit, and things of that nature. We got what precept was going to. Wait, let's get Esther. Right, let's get Esther chapter 4 and verse 16. And it reads, "Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day." So even Esther made a decree to Mordecai saying, Tell people to fast for me as well, and don't eat anything or taste anything. Don't drink nothing for 3 days and 3 nights, man. Why? Because that's our custom and our heritage. When you fast, you don't eat or drink anything. But now you got the so-called white man and these other nations. They make it seem like fasting is just not. You can still drink water, but you can't eat anything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not our heritage. That's not us. That's not in the Bible. You're not going to find that in the Bible, right? Real fast is what? Fasting with no water, no tasting anything, man. Right? I think that's the precept I had right there. Let's go to Matthew 4. Even Yahushua was on that same time. Yahushua, when he was fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he wasn't trying to sneak no water in his system. You know, you got brothers or sisters when they fasting, they like to take a shower just so that one drop of water can so-called accidentally hit their tongue and be like, well, it wasn't my fault. My fast is ended. I can drink water now. No, Jake is crafty, man. No doing that. The Lord knows your hearts. He's the one who trieth the hearts, man, and the reins thereof. Right? So, hey, when you fast, no drinking, no eating, be sincere, man. Don't try to sneak no water in your mouth when you're taking a shower. Right? It's supposed to hurt. Especially if you're new in this thing, it's supposed to hurt. They say, whatever they say in the world, they say, pain, if it's hurting, that means it's working. Something like that, man. I don't know. But it's supposed to hurt, your flesh. You might start feeling lightheaded, especially if you're new to it. Probably can't walk. But guess what? You're not going to die. You're okay, man. Yahushua did it for 40 days, 40 nights. Hey, Moses did 40 days and 40 nights, man. Even Esther, she went 3 days and 3 nights. Hey, Judith, when you read Judith, she was fasting all the days of her widowhood, except on the new moons and the eve of the new moons, the high holy days and things in that nature, man. So if they can do it for multiple days and you can't do it for one day, you got to pray to the Most High God. But this is the book of Matthew, chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward in hunger. So it's obvious when you're fasting, you're going to be hungry. You're going to be thirsty. But just because you're thirsty doesn't mean you can go in the refrigerator and get that cold glass of water. You might get your favorite juice. Probably got some sweet tea that was just brewed up the night before. It's fresh. Your mom probably brewed up some sweet tea. And guess what? It's nice and it's good, man. And it's in the refrigerator. It's cold. It got that lemon floating around it. And you want that. But does that mean you can drink it? No, man, because you're fasting, right? You're fasting for a reason. It's a sacrifice. You sacrifice something for the better, I'm gonna keep going because even Yahushua was tempted when he was fasting. But did he give in to that temptation? No, we gotta be disciplined in this thing, man. Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. And Satan didn't go easy on Yahushua just because he's the Son of God, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. No, Satan came to Yahushua the same way he comes to you, man. So how much more you when you fasting? Don't think it's a coincidence when you're right when you decree a fast. Now all of a sudden your belly start growling, and you're not even hungry. Your belly out of nowhere just start growling, man. That's Satan. You declare a fast. Guess what? You 12 hours in. Mom come in the room. I made you your favorite dish. It might be some pot pie. It might be some chicken, man. It might be wherever Jake like, man. Right? Hey, guess what? I got it made for you. It's hot and ready. It's on the kitchen table right now. Come and eat. Is that a coincidence? No, man. That's Satan on her. Hopped on her to make that food just to make you go off. And some Jake, they be like, shh. I can fast another day, and they go eat that favorite fruit, and they might choke on it and die. Fasting, when you declare a fast, it's important that you stay in the spirit and retain integrity and discipline, that you don't go off in that fast. If you say you're going to fast for one day, fast that one day. Fast 2 days, fast those 2 days. Because it's really like a vow. You don't want to say, I'm going to do something, then don't do it. You feel what I'm saying? So, when you fasting, have integrity, have discipline, and don't disannul that fast if you say you're going to do it. Because Satan's going to try to get you to go off, man. And Lord willing, the mercy of the Lord be upon us, of course, because we all fall short. Everyone falls short of the glory of the Most High God. But the thing is, you want to try and be perfect in this thing. Like it says in, I believe, Genesis 17:1, Matthew 5 and verse 48. I believe Genesis 6 and verse 9. Being perfect in this thing, man. right? Verse 4. Matthew 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. And that's putting upon tables. Don't think it's a coincidence when you fasting. You might be on your second day, right? And it's your first time doing 2 days, man. And your head is really lightheaded and things of that nature. And guess what? Out of nowhere, the TV turns on by itself. You're in your room, but it's loud enough you can hear what's going on. It's on a commercial. It got Wendy's Deluxe, so-called, whatever it's called. They got these commercials saying Zaxby's, this, that, and the third. They got all these commercials about food. You know how they try to make it look juicy? They got the drips coming down from the burger. They try to make it juicy. Is that a coincidence that you fast and all of a sudden the TV turns on by itself? You're the only one at home. The TV turns on by itself, and guess what? Is it talking about food? No, that's Satan trying to entice you. But let me get a precept real quick. All right, let's get Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 10. That's Satan just trying to entice you. You gotta have spiritual eyes to see to know what's going on. Because if you're simple, you're gonna be like, dang, that's a coincidence, man. How you know I was hungry? Well, that's a sign from the Most High God. There we go. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my keys real quick and go get some food. And things of that nature. The Lord's not dealing with that, right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. And guess what? If someone entice you, like Satan, trying to tempt you and entice you, don't consent to it. You gotta be like, hey, that's Satan. You gotta call it how it is and call him out. That's Satan. You go in the living room, turn that TV off, go back to your room, and it is what it is. And guess what? You survive and live for another day, man. And you survive that fast, and you get what you fasted for. So that's what's called. That's how you fast, right? So let's go to Matthew. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 16. Another way to fast too, because when you fast, and there's certain things that you don't do and that you do, Matthew 6 and verse 16, and it reads, moreover, when you fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto man to fast. So don't be like some people, they fast to be seen of man. That's what it's saying. Don't be walking around like, oh man, oh my gosh, right? Did someone ask you, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm just fasting. I'm just fasting. Oh, then you just keep going, man. You just want to be seen of man, right? Don't be like that. When you fast, and the Lord going to tell you how to conduct yourself. It reads, verily I say unto you, they have the reward. Yeah, they have the reward, man, being seen of man. People saying, how come you only drinking smoothies? Oh yeah, because I'm fasting. That's why. Oh my gosh, that's nice. You're juicing. That's a nice fast. You're amazing. All right, that's their reward, man. But when you fasting, no one really should be knowing that you fasting. Your breath might be hot, but they think it's regular and things of that nature. But it is what it is, right? Verse 17, and it reads, but thou, when thou fast, anoint thy head and wash thy face. You see that? It says you got to anoint thy head and wash thy face, meaning prepare yourself, man. Don't be having eye boogers. You got earwax just dripping down the ear and things of that nature, right? Don't be like that. It's okay to, put oil in your beard, anoint yourself, man, and look presentable and things of that nature. Because when you don't, they're going to be like, are you fasting? You look dead. Why are you so pale? And things of that nature, man. You got to make it seem like you're not fasting, because it's really a secret between you and the Most High God. Verse 18, that thou appear not unto man to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. That's putting upon tables. You might be fasting to be more built up in the truth. He won't make that evidently clear to people that you're more on fire, you're more zealous, because you did that secretly. He's gonna make that come to pass in the light, like it says in Luke 12 and verse 2. So there's certain things that you do and that you don't do. Don't be doing your own will when you fasting either. You over here playing basketball. You talking about and one while you fasting. You in a 2-day fast talking about and one. And guess what? You fasting, man. The Lord's not dealing with and one while fasting. There's nowhere in the Bible Paul hit a step back. He shot it. He got fouled at the 3-point line. He fell down all dramatically and said and one while fasting. No, Paul didn't do that. Paul was praying for the church, man. Right? Paul wasn't doing a step back saying and one. When you fasting, you want to really be in the spirit and really be in the Bible, watching videos and things of that nature. You over here fasting, playing video games, that's going off. Right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 3. And it reads, Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not. So you got some people saying, I've been fasting for this, that, and the third, and I still haven't received it. How come I'm still stagnant? I can't grow up in this thing. How come it feels like the Lord's not hearing my prayers or seeing my fast? This is what a lot of people say. But let's see what the Lord's going to say about that. It says, wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast, ye find pleasure and exact all your labors. Right? You got some people who willfully labor while fasting. You know you shouldn't be out there playing basketball while fasting, brother. You had all this time to be doing what you needed to do. Now all of a sudden, while you fasting, now you want to do it. You doing push-ups. You doing curls, man. Bench press. You over here squatting, and you go having a hard workout while fasting. You wasn't doing that the whole week, but now all of a sudden you fasting. Now you want to do some squats, man. That's going off. The Lord's not going to be hearing your prayers. It might as well just be a regular day if you're just not eating anything yet, right? Hey, the Lord said when you fast, you can't be doing your own pleasure, playing video games, watching wicked videos. What else? Working out. I don't know, man. You over here at the golf course, man, or and dread at an arcade while fasting. The Lord's not dealing with that, right? You gotta be doing the will of the Most High God and be in these scriptures. Verse 4: behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Some people fast to be better than the next brother. Yeah, Lord, I want to fast. Help me be better than this next brother. Where's that at, man? Let me get this precept. I'm glad I brought that up because I just went over this precept through the Spirit, and I like this precept. It's humbling too, in Philippians, because Paul wasn't on that time, man. Right? This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So you got some people who fasting, let me be better than him. Then you got other brothers saying, hey, this brother's better than me, man. Let him be better than me and things of that nature. That's humble. But you got some people saying, I want to know more preachers than him. I want to be able to cut him up. I want to be able to show off and show him that he's not better than me. That's going off. The Lord's not dealing with that. You fasting for no reason. You might as well just go ahead, go in that refrigerator, get your favorite food, your favorite dish, order some pizza, order some takeout, do something, and have a big behind feast like it's nothing. Because the Lord's not dealing with that fast, man. You gotta do things in truth and sincerity, and the Lord knows your heart if you're sincere or not. You praying for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you're not sincere. Then you got some brothers who really want to know who the Most High God is, who really wants knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the Lord's going to give him double-fold to that because he was sincere. You got some brothers saying, I want this, that, and the third. I want a Bentley. I want a Bugatti. I want a Range Rover, things in that nature while fasting. The Lord's not dealing with that. But guess what? The other brother, all he wants is mercy. All he wants is his sins to be forgiven. And the Lord gives him that, and he gives him other things that he didn't even ask for. You see that? Even that happened to Solomon, man. Let me get a precept on that. Even Solomon, when you humble, man, the Lord going to bless you with much more than you even asked for because you was humble. But if you prideful, I want this, I want that, I want that, the Lord's not going to hear that, man. But this is the book of Salakia. 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse, let me get straight to the point. Verse 9. It's Solomon praying to the Most High God in a dream, or asking the Most High God for something in a dream. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? So all he asked for was understanding. An understanding heart to be able to discern good and bad to judge the people. That's all he asked for, right? So you might be praying and fasting, and guess what? All you're asking for is what? Mercy, grace, endurance, strength. But guess what? Let's see what the Lord did. Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. So it might please the Lord that you were sincere to ask to get that one demon that you know you're struggling with off of you. That you acknowledge your sins. It might please the Lord, man, that you're doing that thing. Verse 11. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding, discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. Straight like that, man. So Solomon was sincere. He prayed for one thing. The Lord gave him double to that which is, man. And it is what it is. So when you praying, you fast and be sincere, and the Lord going to give you more than what you even asked for when you're fasting. Now, that's another way. That's what to do while fasting, man. Let me get another one. Let's get Nehemiah. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 1. So our forefathers, they fasted. We got to read these accounts to see what they did while fasting and other acts and things in that nature. But this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 1. And it reads, Now in the 24th day of this month, the children of Israel were assembled with fasting and with sackcloth and earth upon them. And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers and stood and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. When you fasting, you should be confessing your sins, confessing the sins of your forefathers, man. Because your dad probably would have been wicked. Your mama wicked as heck, man. Your sisters are wicked as heck. You should be praying for your sins, for your other people's sins, for even your brothers and sisters' sins, man. Right? Verse 3, and they stood up in their place and read in the book of the law of the Lord their God 1/4 part of the day, and another 4th part they confessed and worshiped the Lord their God. And they did that while fasting, man. And a lot of people, they don't do that while fasting. They sleeping all day. They sleeping all day to try to dodge the fact that they're fasting. They wake up, they go back to sleep because they want to get that fast over with, man. Kind of so-called fast forward. They wake up at 24 hours later. It's time to end the fast. Man, I'm on fire, bro. You didn't pray. You didn't read. You could have done a video. You could have done something, man. You didn't do nothing. That was for no reason, man. You just wasted your time, right? That was for no reason. You should be in the scriptures. Do a video, man. Call up brothers, man, and see how their spirit doing. Pray for you want to fast? Go pray for other brothers, man. And things. Hey, pray for you. Pray for your sins, for forgiveness, and things of that nature, man. There's many things you can do while fasting. Don't be doing nothing while fasting because the Lord won't. It's not a good sacrifice. When you offer a sacrifice, you gotta be without blemish, spotless, clean, right? When you fasting, that's a sacrifice in itself. It should be without without blemish, man. Clean in this thing, right? And you want the Lord to smell that sacrifice. Because sometimes when you fast, the Lord might not smell it, and it's null and void, right? So let's go into why to fast. Now, for the first one, I have prayers answered. Now, you might be fasting to have your prayers answered speedily and things of that nature, right? Let's go to Tobit, the classic, and Tobit, chapter 12 and verse 8. Because when you're fasting and praying, that's a good combination. I brought this out in the other video. It's a good combination, man. It goes together, right? It goes together, right? This book of Tobit, chapter 12 and verse 8, and it reads, like the same thing with gas in a car, it goes together, right? Things that go together, it just goes together. Some school books in the book bag, it goes together, right? Prayer is good with fasting, and alms and righteousness. So it says prayer is good with fasting, man. Prayer is amazing with fasting. Yeah, when you're praying, you might get your prayers answered. Who knows? It depends, the Lord hears it or not. But when you fasting, is amen. Like I said before, it's like the express lane. Yeah, you get the left lane. The left lane is fast in itself, but that express lane, no traffic. You get to go. I don't want to say you get to go how fast you want to. Next thing you know, you're in jail, you're in prison, you're doing time, right? But hey, it's fast, man, right? Hey, the same thing with fasting and praying. The Lord, it kind of busting the Lord's ear out. Not that it actually does that, but He hears it. You screaming in His ear, and I can't do this no more. Go ahead, give it to Him. Not that He actually do that, but brothers have ears to hear, right? It gets to Him more than just a regular old prayer. When you fasting, it's more enhanced, more magnified in this thing, man. So when you fast and throw up as much praise in this thing, because the Lord can answer your prayer speedily. There was this one time, I believe I was fasting too, through the Spirit. It was gonna be my first Passover, right? It was gonna be my first Passover, and I was kind of stressed because I'm like, how am I gonna get lamb? Who's gonna buy it for me and things of that nature. Right when I asked the Lord, right when I prayed out to the Lord to to supply me the things I need for Passover, someone called me immediately. Like right after the prayer was done, immediately one of my parents, they called me and said, I can get you some lamb from this place, from Restaurant Depot and stuff like that. I'm like, hey man, I'm confounded, man. I'm confounded. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, dang, the Most High, like he's real, man. He heard that. Like it's amazing. It's amazing what praying and fasting can actually do, especially when you see it play out before your eyes. It's crazy. So don't doubt the power of praying and fasting. The Lord's not hearing me. Hey, give it some time, man. It's not gonna always be on point or exact on your time, but it's gonna come, man. Right? If you're keeping His commandments in truth and sincerity, why wouldn't He hear your prayer? Why would the Father not hear your prayer, man? Right? Slovakia. Let me get Acts 14, verse 23. All right. This book of Acts, even Paul, he did the same thing while it was fasting and things of that nature. This is the book of Acts, chapter 14 and verse 23, and it reads, and when they had ordained them elders in every church and had prayed with fasting, they commended them to the Lord on whom they believed. So, sometimes when you want to get things in order, it's a serious situation that you want to put in the hands of the Lord. It should be expedient to pray and fast, because the Lord can hear that faster. He can attend to that speedily and things of that nature. That's what Paul did. He was ordaining elders in the church, and he prayed with fasting, while fasting and things of that nature. Just showing you that our forefathers was on that same time, because even Sirach said it. I mean, not Sirach, Tobit. It was in Tobit. Even they was on the same time. Raphael said praying and fasting is good, man. Right? Shalakia. All right, let me get this other one too. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 16. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 16. All right. And it reads, David therefore besought God for the child. So David, if you don't know about David, he committed adultery with Bathsheba, right? They had a child, but the Lord, guess what? He forgave David, but the judgment is that firstborn child of Bathsheba and David is going to die. I don't want to spoil it. Go read the book of 1 and 2 Samuel. But 2 Samuel 12 and verse 16, and it reads, David therefore besought God for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. Because again, the Most High, he smote the child with a sickness for it to die. Verse 17, and the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not, neither did he eat bread with them. So David was weeping. He was mourning. Why? Because David knew the child was going to die, but he thought if he fasted and humbled himself, kind of like Hezekiah, the Lord would have mercy upon him. Right, verse 18. And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died. And the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto your voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshiped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. So after David knew the child was dead, he said, man, there's no point in fasting no more. He's dead already. Put on his stuff and things of that nature. But it's the point. Actually, hold on. This is not the point yet. Verse 21. Then said his servants to him, what thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was yet alive. It's like while it was alive. But when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. And he said, while the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, who can tell whether God would be gracious to me that the child may live? But now he is dead, wherefore shall I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. You see that? So David knew that if you try to if you fast, you try to beseech the Lord while in praying to the Lord can have things happen that you might not think will happen. But sometimes the Lord, he's not going to give it to you. just another precept or account to show you, of our forefathers fasting and things of that nature. Another reason why you can fast is to remove demons. I love this prayer. I love this precept. You might always hear me bring it out in videos and things of that nature, but I'm gonna keep bringing it out. You can cover your ears if you want to. It is what it is. But I'm gonna bring out Mark chapter 9 and verse 28, and that'd be wicked anyways. That'd be going off. But this is Mark chapter 9 and verse 28, and it reads, "And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? But these disciples, they couldn't cast out this demon. And Yahushua came, let's see what he said. And he said to them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting." So some demons can't come out unless you fast and pray, and things of that nature. You might wonder why you can never get that lust demon off of you. Well, brother, go on a fast for it, brother. And sometimes you might have to fast for 2 days to get it off for you, man. You wonder why like I did in the last video, the smoking. You still smoking blunts, cigarettes, black and milds, right, and things of that nature, right? You on crack with fringes on. You wonder why you can't put it down, brother. Go on a fast, pray and fast, pray more, fast more. All right, some demons won't come out. All demons are not on the same level. You got level 1 demons, then you got level 12 demons, then level 49 demon, level 50 demon. So some demons are harder to shake than other demons. You gotta understand that, right? And that's just another account that you can use to show you that, hey man, let me get one more on that, the fasting demons out, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 5, and it reads, "Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency." Shalakia. So sometimes even in a marriage, it's good to fast and pray together, just so Satan won't come and try to sift that marriage out. Because you wonder why your marriage is going down in shambles. Every day you arguing because you left your toothbrush, you didn't put it in the drawer or put it back in the thing, you left it out. You got toothpaste in the sink, you didn't clean it up. You left your socks probably right there in the middle of the hallway. I don't know. You didn't turn the TV off before you went to sleep. You arguing over simple stuff and things of that nature. But it's important to fast and pray in a marriage so you can sift that demon out, so y'all can live long together and things of that nature. The more you fast and pray together as a family, the less of a chance Satan has to sift out that marriage out and that family up. But the less time y'all pray and fast together, the more of a stronghold Satan will have on y'all. And now you wonder why, you're not together no more because someone committed adultery, right? So it's important to fast and pray even together and even by yourself to get demons off you, man. And the last one I have is mourning, right? Because even Judith, like I said before, Judith, she was fasting. Our forefathers was fasting, and things of that nature. The only time they wasn't really fasting was when it was when they was with Yahushua. So like I cannot speak right now. I cannot speak. Was when it was with Yahushua. And I don't know that account off the dome, but he said shall the bridegroom I forgot how it goes. But hopefully brothers know what I'm talking about. But he said shall the bride fast with the bridegroom, something like that, But this is the book of Judith, chapter 8. And I'm gonna start at verse 1, and it reads, "Now at that time Judith heard thereof, which was the daughter of Merari, the son of," I'm gonna jump down actually. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 2. I'll get to verse 2. "And Manasseh was her husband of her tribe and kindred, who died in a barley harvest. For as he stood overseeing them that bound sheaves in the field, that heat came upon his head, and he fell on his bed and died in the city of Bethula. And they buried him with his fathers in the field between Dothaim and Baalamo. So Judith was a widow in her house 3 years and 4 months." So Judith was a widow. She didn't get remarried when her husband died. Verse 5. "And she made her a tent upon the top of her house, and put on sackcloth upon her loins, and wore her widow's apparel." So you might be a widow, and you fasting, you mourning because you don't have a man, because it's hard in the society to be a so-called independent woman, especially back then. Because back then, you really had to rely on the man to make all the bread, all the money, the breadwinner, and things of that nature. The woman can't really do as much as the man. So it was kind of hard. That's why you had something set up when you read Acts chapter 6 and things of that nature. You had certain men to attend to the widows and things of that nature, right? And the fatherless. But it reads, verse 6, and she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Sabbaths, and the Sabbaths, and the eves of the new moons, and the new moons, in the feast and solemn days of the house of Israel. You see that? So she was always fasting from the eve of the new moon. She would accept the eve of the new moon and the new moon, except the eves of the Sabbath and the high holy days and things of that nature. But every other day she would be fasting. So she'd be fasting 6 days out the or 5 days out the week, and things of that nature, man. That's how much she would be fasting and things of that nature. So our forefathers and foremothers, they fasted when it was morning. Even when we just read, even David, he was fasting when he was morning. That's not a far-fetched thing. But now when people see you, they ask you, why your breath stink? Why you look dead, man? What's going on? How come why you look so skinny? What's really going on here? They start getting on you. They probably start laughing at you. They put you on social media. You look like a clown. I don't know. They getting on you, man. But they don't know that when your folks just died, and now you mourning. You fasting. You don't want to do nothing. You got sackcloth upon you. You got the ashes from the ashtray of the incense. You put it on, not the ashtray. That's wicked. Not the cigarettes, stuff like that. But the ashes from the incense, the holder. You put it upon you and things of that nature. People fast because they're sad, man. So it's important that we even watch our brothers and sisters' spirit, because they might be low in the spirit. They fasting for 3 days, 4 days. Hey, ask that brother, is everything okay, man? Right? Got another precept. Even Daniel, he was mourning and fasting too, right? This Daniel chapter 10 and verse 2. Daniel chapter 10 and verse 2, and it reads, in those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. It says 3 full weeks, 21 days. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. You see that? So he ate no pleasant bread. He didn't eat no flesh. He didn't drink anything for 3 whole days, because the brother was mourning in this thing, man. And the Lord answered his prayer 21 days, gave him visions of the night and things of that nature. But I do want to get this real quick. I don't want to read the whole thing, but when you read the whole thing in Daniel 10, he says that he was weak. He couldn't really do nothing. But I'm gonna jump down to verse 12, Daniel 10 and verse 12, and it reads, then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thy heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. Another precept to link up with Tobit 12 and 8. When you're praying and fasting, guess what? Your prayer is more magnified, and you have certain angels, like it says in Revelation 18 and verse 3. It's like in Revelation chapter 8 and verse 3 and verse 4, that you have certain angels that come and take your prayers up, before the Most High God, man. Even Psalms 141 and verse 2. Let's get that real quick. Psalms 141 and verse 2, he says, let my prayer be as the incense. So when you're praying and fasting, you have certain angels to pick up your prayers and things of that nature, and the Lord hears that. Psalms 141, I'm going to start at verse 1. Lord, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me, give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up my hands as the evening sacrifice. So you want your prayer to be set forth before thee as incense, man, before the Most High God as incense. That incense is, that smoke, it comes up, probably in a zigzag, it might go straight up, but guess what? Or you might have that incense, you got the rocks in it, all hell breaking with the smoke going this way, smoke going that way, smoke going all over the place. You want that as your prayers before the Most High God, things of that nature. So that's how it is when fasting, and things of that nature. That's why it's important to fast and pray together to the Most High God. But the point in this matter in Daniel 10 and verse 2 to verse 3, to show you that our forefathers, when it was morning, guess what? It was fasting and things of that nature. I'm going to get a couple more I'm going to shut down. This is a book of Psalms, and we'll just edifying. But this is Psalm 69 and verse 10. And it reads, when I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach. So David, when you read Psalms and things of that nature, even first and second Samuel, David was always weeping and going through it and things of that nature. So he was always praying and fasting and beseeching the Most High God. It says, when I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach. And David, he was fasting for more than one day, most of the time, man. 3 days. Because even when you get Psalms 109 and verse 24, it says his knees was weak. Psalms chapter 109 and verse 24, it reads, my knees are weak through fasting, and my flesh faileth of fatness. So again, you might be going through it, man. Car get repoed, get impounded, can't pay bills, woman left you. I don't know. What did Jake go through? You're the black sheep, so-called black sheep of the family. You got beat up. You got stumped out by random people. Someone stole all your stuff. You can't find your wallet. You a social security crisis. Someone trying to pretend like they're you. You got no money in the bank account. You get evicted. All these other things. Jay be going through it, man, behind closed doors. And wherever you're going through, that's heavy and a burden to you. You might be weeping and fasting and things of that nature. And guess what? You might not feel like doing nothing. You don't want to go outside. You used to play basketball, now you don't. You're depressed. That's a good word. You're depressed. Guess what? Our forefathers, even Yahushua, so-called depressed, man. Being in this truth is not easy. It's going to weigh you down. So sometimes you might just be fasting, just to fast and mourn in this thing, man. To humble yourself before the Most High God. Because let me get this real quick. Let me get one more and close out. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 3 and verse 35. Right? Now, this was when Abner was killed. Right? This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 3 and verse 35. Let me see. I'm going to start at verse 31. And it reads, I'll start at verse 30. And it reads, so Joab and Abishai, his brother, slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. And David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, rend your clothes and gird you with sackcloth and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the bier. And they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, die Abner as a fool dieth. So he was sad. The people around him was sad, man, because Abner was killed unjustly. Verse 34. Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put into fetters. As a man falleth before a wicked man, so fellest thou. And all the people wept again over him. But this is the point. And when all the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David sware, saying, so do God to me, and more also, if I taste bread or aught else, till the sun be down. You see that? So certain people will fast because to show respect and honor to the dead, and to also weep and mourn for them too, man. Which is, showing respect and things in that nature. You might have a loved one who passed away. You might have a brother who fell out the truth, and you're really sad, man. You might see a brother who's waxing weaker and weaker. He's not taking correction. You just fasting and having hope, and you crying, man. And things of that nature. Hey, that's what our forefathers did. So those are different reasons to fast, man. I didn't touch on everything. I'm just giving the foundation and things of that nature. Prayers to be answered, to remove demons, for mournings, and things of that nature. So Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Shalom.